Hey Trent, I'm just checking in. Are you all moved in yet? Are you sorted? Are you feeling alright? You're doing good? Checking in, let me know.
See, I've wanted nothing more than to work on my Tyranid, Nurgle, and Gene Stealer cults combined army. 3 armies in one. And between moving and getting sick and traveling and moving again and getting sick, I haven't gotten these models out of my head. But while I was gone, you have blessed me with so many new models for this army. Old things off the sprues, second-hand models, things you had in your bits box. So many people around the world have helped keep this army going. I would describe modern Games Workshop model kits as basically a puzzle. And on their own, all the individual pieces don't really look like anything, which is like a big change compared to old Games Workshop model kits, which I think I would describe more like Lego. What surprised me though was this kit, despite being a couple of years old, broke all the modern Games Workshop design rules and was designed with maybe an old school mentality. Because as soon as I saw those ball and socket joints, I was inspired. Because of the way I've assembled it, I think it would be kind of cooler if we elongated the body a little bit. I don't know if I mentioned, but this is the big boss of my army, the Hive Tyrant. This model has to be menacing. This is a 5-minute epoxy. This is perfect for super tough bond. I want this model to have presence. So assembling it like the box just isn't really cutting it. This kind of has to dry in an awkward spot. Hanging off the edge of my workbench using a mug. Nice. My tyranids are infested with Nurgle's rot, which means these models can look gross and grimy, and also I can kind of half-ass the modelling. Nothing needs to be too clean. I think the secret to my new Nurgle aesthetic is lots of tubes, lots of wires, lots of vents, and smush them all together into lumps of fatty tissue. And I do that with lots and lots of sacks of green stuff. Okay, this is what we've got. Our winged Hive Tyrant, right? Okay, now... I'm so bloody excited about this, but look at this. Okay, so I made the wings with little pegs so you can take them in and out. If you don't want a winged Hive Tyrant, you just put in some scything talons. And you know how my goal is 3 armies in one? Well, I thought for chaos, a Demon Prince head option. It's a Demon Prince. What a classic head too. I think that's a Bloodthirster head. 5, 10, 35, 40... This is a Termagaunt. And I've already converted a bunch last episode, but I don't need 45 of these, especially not anymore with flesh borers. I think I'm gonna run like 20 of them maybe. A flesh borer is the weapon that they're carrying. It literally shoots out like flesh-eating bugs. It's very, very cool. Back in the old days, the old models used to look like this, and when you bought a box of these, you had an option to turn them into Hormagaunts. Hormagaunts have like big scythy claws. I don't actually know what they're called, but they rip into you. I don't have any parts like that, but I would like to turn a bunch of these Termagants into Hormagaunts.
However, when I was in America at Adepticon, which was such a lovely time, by the way, thank you everyone that came up to me and said such lovely things, I set my girlfriend up with a little booth to trade bits. And who knows what Rachel traded from my bits box, but one thing I got was a bunch of these little spider legs, and I really want to turn these into claws. It fits so well into that little socket. We're onto something.
A bit of plastic glue. And just...
I'm giving this model 2 extra limbs to invoke some eldritch horror vibes. Make it unsettling, make it uncanny, make it something terrifying. If it was chasing you down a hallway in like a derelict spaceship, you get it. And also the spider limbs is like, I think, kind of Nurgle. The cybernetic aesthetic that I've been doing with plasticard and styrene, little tiny rods and tubes, that kind of plays a big part of my army's lore. But now I think from a modeling perspective, I'm kind of just really enjoying it. This is like kind of a new experience for me because I've never been very much of a detailed guy. But something about this army, something about, I don't know, making little details that maybe only I will see, makes me very, very happy.
Okay, I've gone ahead and I've made a couple more. That's 4. It takes a long time to make them, I'm not gonna lie, but I really, really dig the result. They look super creepy, they look super fast, and each one is entirely unique from the others. I've also finished the limbs of the rest of the squad, but I haven't done the techie bits yet. And I also don't have the right base sizes for them. Thing is that the base sizes that Tyranids use, at least the Hormagaunts, are like kind of weird. 28.5 or something. And I have 2 left, so I think I might mold and cast this because buying actual bases is too expensive. Okay. Last episode, I saw this image. This is a plague fleet. Above the plague planet orbit huge space platforms and docks made of mutant flesh and rusted metal. Well, that's bloody that, isn't it? When I first saw this, I saw these craters and I thought they were eyes. So if I make an exterior, I want to put a big eye on it. The point is, I really want to make one, and that's kind of where this segment sponsor comes in, Mini Wargaming. They said, hey, can we sponsor a video? I said, hey, can you help me make a derelict spaceship? And we compromised, and well, I've been doing a lot of 3D printing.
Hey Wargamers, are you looking for terrain that's modular, magnetizable, and actually designed for great gameplay? Well, then you gotta check out the Ruins of Perdition. These walls and floors snap together with magnets, so you can rearrange layouts on the fly and collapse everything.
I honestly just got Dave to do that bit because I was worried about mispronouncing
The Ruins of Perdition.
Ruins of Perdition. So, kind of the standout piece for me in the set was this super gnarly portal. I thought it could be the tool that Papa Nurgle's been using to convert regular old Tyranids into Nurgle Tyranids. Maybe combine it with some old projects. And over the last couple of days I've been experimenting as well with these ruined terrain pieces from the set. I took one look at them, I saw these little holes, and I thought that would be fantastic for like gene stealers to rip through, right? Well, when Space Hulk got remade, I don't want to think about how long ago, the Gene Stealers came on beautiful display bases, and that is exactly what I'm trying to channel right now. I made the display bases that they're on, the scenic bases, using these ruins scaled down by 50%, and that way, when they play on the Plague Fleet, they'll stand out.
Okay, let's start our Plague Fleet interior. Thank you very much to Mini Wargaming. I'm using picture frames and plywood as bases, and that way they're perfectly 1 foot by 1 foot, and they will also slot in super well with our Necromunda terrain that we've been working on. The idea behind our army is Papa Nurgle has taken control of some Nids that have been severed from the hive mind he found on a drifting ship. I'm thinking also, surely he would take control of the ship and turn it into a stinky, swollen, pussy playground.
These used to be from my paint organization system, and now I'm not using them, so now they're terrain.
Now, the secret to this Nurgle grossness is freeform sculpt habitat black epoxy, which is an absolute mouthful, and it's also the hardest epoxy I've ever had to use because it is incredibly sticky. Very, very sticky. It makes for an awesome controlled mess, but it is truly so sticky. And it also kind of smells like cat piss, quite significantly. So I really want some details on these wall sections. They look a bit bare. I also want to add some details to these panels. And I thought, how do I do that? Well, Mini Wargaming provided some great bits, and what I've done is I've just sliced off edges that I like. So like they're the tops of barrels, that's the top of a tire, and that's the top of a cargo piece. We're going to delete the actual model. And just like that, we have a Greeblies kit. Using my new sliced up greebles, I got decorating. And cutting up models this way means that I can tie in some of the scratch building elements in with the nice 3D printed stuff. And that way it all looks like it should go together. As you can see, this stuff is a mess. Trust me, I went through so many pairs of gloves, but it is fun and it is really, really strong because I've done like a bunch of effects like this over the years, doing very alien kind of terrain, and it just hasn't held up. I've either used like different glues or I've used different types of clay, and I think this stuff will be around longer than you or I or the next 100 generations, in all honesty. And obviously I had to turn the portal to chaos as well, just with some epoxy horns. Anytime I have a little extra epoxy, I just roll it up into a horn. Then a quick spray paint, and I made up the paint job on the fly with the oil paints. Oil paints are cheap, they go very far, and the color is beautiful, and that's why I use them. They take a very, very long time to dry, but that allows you to be able to blend them, wipe away stuff you don't like, and you can also like thin it down with a lot of solvent to make like washes or splatters. I don't know, it's like a tool that does everything.
To get these nice green highlights, it's literally straight out the rattle can, and after I've done all the oil paints, I like a little highlight. Do this outside though. I really wanted to capture some of the vibes, I guess, of the terrain I've been making, the models I've been making, so I came up with this. This is a camera made out of a security camera. I'm hoping to get some shots that are like straight out of the Aliens movie.
Hello, I'm on the couch with the cat. We're doing some research. We're doing some gene stealer research right now, going all the way back to the original articles in White Dwarf and Rogue Trader. And, well, there's a couple of interesting things. Particularly, gene stealers being referenced a lot with chaos as something that would ally with chaos, and also maybe even a leader that's been possessed by a demon. Very, very cool. They have also referenced Beastmen being an ally of the Gene Stealer cults. Every part of me wants to add some Beastmen. I think I'm going to have to. Good morning. Okay, I start my day with a pocket of Beastmen. I collected some old Beastmen on my travels. I bought them from secondhand markets. I'm a little bit concerned about like the scale, whether I'll be able to find arms that have guns and weapons for the scale of the bodies, but I've also got, this is kind of special, someone traded me a Ralpatha, I believe this is a bugbear from 1989. It's like 6 years older than me and I'm old. Okay, I've had a little bit of time to experiment, and this is what I've come up with so far. This arm holding this scythe, this is from Mantic Games. This is like from their demon set, and this is from a Gene Stealer Cults kit. Together, looks pretty good. It is super rough. I had to put it together with a bit of like old Milliput that was old and dry and crusty, and now I'm going to try to fix all the dodginess. Mostly by covering it up. I'm going to take some of this like U-shaped styrene and just cut out little sections I can use as armor plating. There's no rhyme or reason to the sizes, I'm just literally just... I'm totally aware that you can buy 40k Beastmen off the shelf now, which is super, super cool. I think the models are a little bit too big and extravagant for the sort of scope or style that I want my army to be. So kitbashing fantasy ones is like, I think, a good compromise. A pretty sweet trick I've been using is this stuff. Extra thin cement, but you put a bunch of sprue in it. People call this sprue goo. It's basically ultra thin cement without the ultra thin bit. It's gluggy and gloopy and it's great for filling gaps. So like here on this model, this is cloth, which doesn't really make sense for Beastmen because they don't really wear clothes. So I'm just going to literally take some of this sprue goo and soften up those details. And that way when I paint it, I can just make it like a flesh color and nobody will know. Now we just add some little details to make these like ambiguous plates look like just a thing. Doesn't matter what it is, it just needs to look like it was designed by someone at one point in time. And this is what we ended up with. A Beastman for our cultists, but also I've been making a bunch of cultists. I want to show you right now, if that's okay. Okay, these are my cultists, and I've tried to make them as unique as possible. Basically, I wanted each one to have its own character, and that will be the theme going forward, is each one will feel like its own thing. And I used parts from both Gene Stealer Cults kits and the Chaos kits, and also Stargrave. That's been a great resource for like guns and bodies and stuff in different scales. Yeah, I don't know. I bloody love them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really stoked. They take a long time, but I'm stoked. So, elephant in the room is that I have a new workshop. And I'm very, very, very grateful to be here. The last couple of months has been kind of a surreal roller coaster of things I can't even really describe or recall what's happened. But it's been fun, it's been stressful, I've been quite sick, and my heart is very full. And I'm very, very happy. But now I just want to sit back and make bloody models all day. So you're stuck with me for a little bit. Oh, also, Ripper swarms, right? And then the bottom layer, maggots. You know, got to represent Nurgle. I do kind of want to make Ripper Nurgling hybrids though. I saw a comment about that and now I gotta do it. I gotta do it.